Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Crystal Womack. I thank each and every one of you for taking the time to view my video today. And I just thank each and every one of my subscribers, all those that take the time to watch my videos. It does mean a lot to me. And those of you that are sharing my videos, thank you so very much. It means a lot to me. And I just, like I said, my goal in my other videos as well is just to spread God's word, spread inspiring, encouraging words through my testimony to help others that are going through the same thing or that are going through rough times as well. You know, we all need encouragement. Every day we need encouragement, you know. So if this helps someone, I think it's a job well done. So I just thank you. And if it's your first time or it's not your first time, if I can just please ask that you give a thumbs up and subscribe and share. Please share this video with your friends, your family, coworkers, whoever. Just please share it, because you never know if somebody might need this video at this moment or tomorrow or the next day, or who knows. So with that being said, I do have another poem that I had written about a year ago. And this is an interesting poem because this was a poem that I had written to my husband. And the interesting thing is that this love poem was written at one of our darkest moments in our marriage. And I look back and I'm like, wow, you know, that is a God-inspired poem, because at that moment in time I was just really confused. You know, there was a lot of uncertainty, mixed feelings, mixed emotions, anger, resentment. And the poem that I'm about to read you wouldn't think that I had any of those emotions inside when I written that. And it's all by the grace of God. It was completely God, you know, that led me to write this poem to him, because I needed it, he needed it, and I just thank God for that, and for where he's taken us. Because I know, like I had mentioned a little bit about my marriage in previous videos, but not to this extent that I'm going to go today, because I know a lot of people and marriages that it might not be working too well right now. I don't know what's going on. You know, it might be that someone's been unfaithful. It might be finances. It might be other things. Who knows? But I just want to tell you that there is hope. You know, if our marriage can make it through it, I believe a lot of other marriages can. And I believe that this can only happen when Christ is in the center of your relationship. And I say that because when it was just me and him before Christ, we did a lot of dumb things. You know, we were unfaithful to each other, to one another. There was mental abuse, physical abuse, and keep in mind this is before Christ. Okay, we've been together for 17 years, married for 12 years now, and you know, we've practically, you know, spent half of our lives together, and we've learned a lot about each other, and we just wanted to beat the statistic, you know. And the only way that we did that, the statistic of, you know, being together at a young age and not divorcing, we wanted to beat that statistic. And the only possible way that we could have done that is with God, and we did. We beat the statistic, and that's something to be so proud of, you know. And I'm here to say that you can also do that too. You can also beat that statistic. Now, I do realize there's other issues, you know, like maybe there is abuse, maybe there's physical abuse that that maybe you do need to get help for, and seek help for, but I think in most cases that if it's not something that to that extent, you know, that you can't get out of, or that you feel like you're being harmed, you know, or that you're scared, you know, I think there is a way to fix it, you know. Because I think if you just say, oh, we don't love each other, you know, if there's even an ounce, if there's even just any kind of love, you can make it work. You can make it work. Why? Because that's how I felt. And I'm pretty sure that's how my husband felt, was that there was, our love was so buried by all the things that we would hide, by just all these emotions of not communicating, that led to not trusting. And communication has a big part of it, and we were not communicating, and we were not sharing how we felt. So we would take that out on each other, through just blaming each other and assuming maybe that someone was doing something even if they weren't. But all of that, compounded. And there was love in there, but it was buried so deep, so deep, that God was the only one that got us out of that just shattered everything, and brought back that love, shattered all the negativity, and made us whole again. And as I mentioned it before, there has to be three in marriage. Your husband, your wife, and God in the middle. God has to be the center of everything. If he's not, it will fail. It is doomed to fail, because we are called to be, like Christ. God is love, and if we say that we have love in our hearts, He has to be the center of everything. So I had to learn to forgive my husband, and that's one of the big things that I want to talk about today, is forgiveness. Because without forgiveness, we're trapped. We're the ones that's trapped. When we learn to forgive, like truly forgive as Christ has forgiven us, we set ourselves free. It's like a burden has been lifted off of us. And I can honestly say that, like literally almost, because when we confess with our mouth the forgiveness, it's like anything else in this world. You just feel free, and I can't even explain it, because it just feels so good, and you feel lightweighted. You don't feel like you're carried down, like you have this backpack of rocks on you anymore. That you don't have to carry that. And it's like, if God can forgive us for everything that we've done, all the mistakes that we've made, huge or small, it doesn't matter, then how can we not forgive our friends, our spouses, and any person that's done us wrong? How can we ask forgiveness if we're not willing to give it? And that's what I want to say today, is that I had to learn how to forgive my husband, and he had to learn how to forgive me, because that's the only way we're able to make it, with forgiveness, and learning how to trust each other again, and definitely communication. That was a weak point. For me, I love to talk. I wanted to talk, even if it wasn't all beneficial, and him, he was not the communicator. And I think a lot of guys can probably understand on that level. But I had to learn, and I had to learn how to listen. It wasn't just about me talking. It's reciprocal. We have to learn how to listen to what they're telling us too, and not just get on them and say, oh no, no, you're wrong, no, you don't feel this way. No, we can't tell them how they feel. We can't tell them, that they're wrong. Then they're telling us how they feel. So we need to try to be open-minded and understand that as well. And to forgive, what does that mean? What does God say about forgiveness? Well, forgiveness is to give up claim for revenge or resentment. So we're giving up that revenge, we're giving up that, oh, you did this to me, so I'm going to do this to you. Oh, you want to play that game? Well, I'm going to play it back. It's not about that. It's not about anyone who wins, because honestly, nobody wins. There is no winner. When you guys are arguing, when you guys are letting your emotions get the best of you, and you're not really thinking about what you say or what you do, nobody wins. And especially if you have kids, especially them, they lose, and that's another reason why we decided, like, this is what we want to do. This is why we want to make it work. We have three children, three beautiful girls, that we want to set an example for, and both of us, from our background, my husband and we came from families that are divorced or not together. My mom and dad divorced when I was young. So, I had my mom and my dad as a role model in different spectrum, different households, but we have that coming to the table, which wasn't kind of, the best. So we had to kind of learn how to work with each other. Like, oh, okay, I need to learn how to submit to him and how, and to respect him as a husband. But you know what? That doesn't all just come so easily, That's only both of you working together and taking steps, to improve your marriage. So, yes, and to reestablish what was broken, because we were broken, in pieces. We lived so many years that way, and it was almost like we were strangers. We came into our marriage, like I said before, with unfaithfulness, and got married into that, thinking that everything was going to be good, and okay. And the only thing that made it okay is that we had God. So we were still able to worship. We were still able to have a close relationship with God, but yet not close to each other, which doesn't really make sense. But, it didn't. Our relationship didn't make sense, because there was a lot of lies. Like I said, there was a lot of lies. We lied to each other, and there was unfaithfulness in the marriage, and I became a bitter person. I resented him. I don't want to use the word hate, but there was so much anger and rage, that I had towards my husband, and it could probably vice versa, the feelings maybe mutual, but I'm telling you how I felt and what I did to overcome all those emotions, because I was, and my thoughts took me to another place, which I will get into another video about our thoughts and our mind, but my mind took me to a whole nother level. I was even planning, okay, my life without him, like, okay, what am I going to do? Let's plan A, plan B, plan C, but we shouldn't think that way. There shouldn't be another plan. The plan should be to try to make it work. So it was just, I forgave him. It took a lot of work, and I done a lot of my praying on my knees and literally crying out to God, for him to fix me. It really does take a strong person to admit, that maybe they failed, maybe they messed up, but I knew that it wasn't all him. It was me too, and I had to ask God, to start working in me, revealing to me, what I needed to change in me, because I felt in pieces, I didn't feel whole. And like I said, even though I was going to church, and yes, I felt God, and I knew I had God with me, I didn't really have a true connection, a true relationship with God, because if I did, it wouldn't have gotten to that point to where my husband and I were thinking, okay, this might end, what are we going to do? And so we had to communicate. We had to learn to communicate. I mean, if I can give you any advice, communicate throughout your whole relationship, communicate. And now, even for me, I even when my husband comes home, I said, oh, how was your day? Just to communicate. It doesn't even have to be like sharing, oh my gosh, all your personal and all these feelings. No, it could just be like, how was your day? How are things? How's work? How's everything going? And just like you would do with your kids, because that's love. That is love. and yeah, it takes time, it takes sacrifice. It's not easy. Believe me, for a whole year I spent on my knees crying and asking God, like to just change me, transform me, and to transform not only me, but my husband, to work in his mind, to work in his heart, because I really did want to make it work. We've been together so long, so long. Why would we break that now? And so, piece by piece, you know, I ask God piece by piece, just to make me into your perfect masterpiece. And God did a huge part in my life. And, I started seeing, God can make mountains move. And I started seeing him work in my husband. And this was almost immediately. I mean, like, I kid you not, almost immediately. I seen him working in my husband, breaking chains, breaking walls that I hadn't seen broken ever, and working in my heart, revealing to me what I needed to do to work on myself, and to get rid of, and so much negativity and distrust, and I can't tell you that it was easy to learn how to trust again, because it wasn't. It truly wasn't, and it took about a year to be able to gain trust again, to be able to not think in the back of my mind, is he lying to me? Is he telling me he's going somewhere, but yet he's going somewhere else? And just all those negative thoughts come through my mind again as if it happened yesterday. And I can't, and sometimes I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, so I still, think in the back of my mind. But, but I catch myself and I think about something positive. We've been doing good for the last over a year now, and we're so much in love, and I wouldn't take back, the confessions that we made with one another over a year ago, coming up, I believe over half a year ago now. I wouldn't take back those confessions that we had made with one another. Yes, it was hard. Yes, it was heartbreaking, and it felt tormenting, yes. But what God has done to us and brought us through now, and to make us clean and to start over again, I wouldn't trade that. I would not trade that. We even got rings, and vowed again, once again, before one another, as if we did, like we did on our wedding day. And from that way forward, to be faithful to communicate with one another, and that trust is there now. And the love is there now. That was never there before, that was buried, buried so far deep. That God released, and it feels good, to have that intimacy with my husband, and to be able to share with him, and to anything, and for him not to just reject me or push me away or ignore me, and it feels good to be able to have that communication and trust. But like I said, it's not easy. But if you have even an ounce of love, you can do it. You can do it. And let me share to you, I will get to that poem, but let me share a little bit about what love is and what the Bible says love is. So, this is what God says love is. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. And that's from 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. And I know this sounds like a perfect love, and I've probably broken all of those things in there, with the anger, with pridefulness, with not trusting. But But I'm getting better, and my husband's getting better, and we're making it work. And that is the definition of love. And yes, it seems perfect, and yeah, it seems hard. But when you have Christ in your heart, letting Him, His Spirit, guide you completely, it gets easier. It gets easier. And to forgive is not to forget. You know, yes, you have those memories in the back of your mind, but you use them as a stepping stool to get better and to get better and say, I'm not going back. You know, I forgave. I'm not going to forget, but I forgive you. And so, you know, we are created in the image of God. You know, we are called to be more like Him and to trust Him and to trust Him in our lives. And, you know, God has a perfect plan for us. He had a perfect plan for our marriage. And like I said, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have been who we are without the grace of God and Him working, allowing ourselves to work, Him to work in our marriage, in our hearts, individually and together. And okay, so now I'm going to share with you guys the poem that I had written for my husband in spite of all the negative feelings I had towards him. This is the poem that I had written him. This was February of 2019. So this was about 3 months after we had confessed some awful things that we had done, and yeah, so this is the poem that I had written to him. I love you now more than ever. Be mine and I will be yours. Hold me and I will hold you. Trust me so I can trust you. Tell me life and I will listen. Write me a story and I will read it. Paint me a picture and I will admire it. Whisper me sweet words and I will cherish them. I love you more than you will ever know. With you I want to grow old. My love, my lover, my best friend. I'm proud to call you my husband. And if I can write this in the middle of this chaos that was going on, and unmixed uncertainty, angerness, then you know what? This just proves that God is real and that God was alive in me. And because with me giving up the claim to revenge, to choose revenge, you know, I chose love over revenge. I chose forgiveness over revenge. You know, I chose to stay rather than to leave. And I think that is one of the hardest things, and I think that's why so many people give up. They're afraid to commit. They're afraid to stay. They're afraid to try to, you know, make things work, because it takes time. It takes commitment. You know, it takes sacrifice, lots of sacrifice. And if you're not willing to be in 100%, then yeah, it might not work. But I want your guys' marriages to work. That's why I'm sharing with you what worked in my marriage and what can work in many other marriages. And like I said before, this is not taking into abuse, you know, that you have no control over, or that if you're getting hurt or you feel in danger, by all means, you know, you may need to seek help, you know, and leave. And I'm not telling you what to do, but you know, and you know if you can make it work or you can't, you know. But like I said, if there's even an ounce of love, you know, you can make it work. You can. It's just, like I said, it takes time and commitment, sacrifice, and both parties willing to do it. And we did it. You know, we overcame. And I'm here to tell you that, and I'm here to tell you we are more in love than we've ever been. This is the whole 17 years we've been married. We know each other more than we ever have in the whole 17 years we've been together, and 12 years married. We started over again. getting to know each other, going on date nights. We try to do that at least once a month. It's hard with this COVID-19, but we try really hard to do that at least once a month. Date each other, go out, talk, spend time with one another, have a meal, get a coffee or a tea, go to the movies, to just be alone, to share with each other, Like I said, it was a new start for us, a new start, a new beginning, a new journey. And I just want that for you guys, I want what happened to us to happen for all those that are struggling right now as well, those couples that think there is no hope, because there is always hope, and that hope is God. God is our only hope. He really is. In this time, in our marriage, in all of our relationships, in everything. And I just thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if I can finish with something, it's to forgive, to learn how to forgive, and in all your relationships, not even just relationships, but maybe you need to forgive a friend for doing you wrong, and maybe that friend doesn't even know they did you wrong, or a parent that maybe hurt you, or just anybody that you have grudge in your heart for, to learn just to forgive them, wholeheartedly, truly to forgive them, because you're the one that's set free. And I want you to be set free. God wants you to be set free. He doesn't want you to carry those chains around, those rocks on your back, anymore. He wants to release them. He wants you to be free. He wants you to live. And so that's what I hope for you, is just to learn to forgive, because who it really sets free is us, so that we don't feel all the sorrows and emotion, or the resentment, the hate anymore, because we don't have to. God doesn't want that for us. We weren't meant to carry those burdens. We were meant to give them to God, to hand them over to Him, so that He can work in us. And like I said, we may be in pieces, we may be broken, but God can put us together and make us whole again. And He's the only one that can do that. He is the way, the truth, and the life. He is everything. I thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for supporting me. Please, 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 if you can give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Please share this, and especially if you have your own YouTube channel, if you have your own blogs, please share this video. Please help support me and me trying to encourage other people and inspire other people and help other people. Just please share this on your whatever it might be, your Instagram, your YouTube. Please just share. And one more thing, my daughters requested that I give a shout out to them. They have their own YouTube channel. So if you have kids and they're interested, if you can give their channel a view too. They're called Princess Life, and what I'll do is I'll put their channel below so you can click on that and start following them as well. Thank you so much, guys, and I just hope for you guys all the best, and God bless you all, and take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.